What did you feel like when you were on the pill?
Oh, not good. I was moody, I was depressed, I was irritable. I was like not myself at all.
Didn't want to go to school most of the time and stuff like that, just because I felt like I would put everyone down with my mood. I would go from happy to sad very fast, or I could go angry to sad. It was very hard to regulate my emotions, very overwhelming.
Both Jess and Georgia went on the pill as teenagers to help manage heavy, painful periods. But they both say it came with a set of side effects they didn't expect.
I didn't really feel like a human being half the time, didn't feel like myself.
As a teenager, trying to navigate everything else in life and school and, you know, all the friendships and whatnot, it was not nice.
When it was first released in the early 1960s, the pill changed women's lives forever.
Girls used to be warned, it's the woman who pays. But what 500,000 Australian women are paying for these days is the contraceptive pill.
It meant women could, for the first time, take control of their reproductive health, choosing when and if they want a family, and it allowed them to join and stay in the workforce. Today, the pill is the most popular form of contraception in Australia, and it's also prescribed to treat acne, heavy periods, and hormonal conditions. The most common contraceptive pills are made up of two hormones, estrogen and progesterone, which are the main female sex hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers that travel through our bloodstream, instructing organs and tissues on how to function. In the natural hormone cycle, estrogen and progesterone are produced, for the most part, in the ovaries. And they are some of the main hormones that help control the menstrual cycle. If you take the pill every day, it stops the natural production of the hormones that control estrogen and progesterone in the body, and as a result, stops the menstrual cycle and prevents pregnancy. Like most drugs, the pill can come with side effects like headaches, breast tenderness, weight gain, as well as some more serious but rare conditions, and this is all pretty well documented. There's also the risk of mood changes, including depression, and experts say this is something we're only really beginning to understand.
These hormones are all over the body and there's big concentrations in the brain, throughout the brain. So of course they're having an effect in the brain, and that's where the mental health stuff comes from.
This is Professor Jayshree Kulkarni. She's a psychiatrist and researcher specialising in hormones and women's mental health. And she says sex hormones aren't just about reproduction.
These hormones are potent brain steroids, so they're brain hormones. That means that they're really acting in the brain to push the chemicals in the brain. Serotonin, dopamine are the main brain chemicals. There are many others. And that then determines mood, so depression, or the opposite of depression is mania.
Professor Kulkarni says not everybody will be affected that way, but young women and those with a history of mental illness seem to be more vulnerable.
Some women, you give them, a little bit of hormone and it affects their brain chemistry and their brain circuitry, and bang, they get a depression or panic or anxiety. Whereas other women, they can have big hormone fluctuations and it doesn't affect their mental health. I think young women really fare the worst because at that stage of development in the, say, 14 to 18 to 19, it's easier to go, oh, if she's having some depression or anxiety, or she's grumpy, or she's this or she's that, that's because, she's got a mental health problem. It's easier to go down that pathway than to think, maybe it's the contraception. It's good that we've got 50 different types of contraceptive pills on the market, because you've got to try this, try that to find one that suits. I think you just got to listen to women, and she's got the answer. Like, she'll tell you, I don't feel good, I don't feel right, I don't know what's wrong, but I don't feel right. And then we have to educate GPs, who are the frontline practitioners who are working in the contraceptive area a lot of the time, to also ask each time the woman comes in, hey, how was your mood?
While there's not a lot of data around, Professor Kulkarni says she suspects the mood-related side effects of the pill are more common than we think. A 2023 study out of the US showed 43.6% of women experienced mood changes as a side effect of the pill, and 83% said their doctor did not mention these potential side effects.
When we look at the studies about the contraceptive pill, the mood side effects are generally less common than the physical side effects. So that could explain why most of the conversation is about physical side effects.
This is Dr. Danielle McMullen, a GP and the president of the Australian Medical Association. She says research into the mental health side effects of the pill is relatively new, but GPs should be across it and should be discussing it with patients, particularly young people.
We're trying to get that message out there to be alert, cautious, but not alarmed. If you've ever got a question, it's important to ask, because we may not always remember to ask about your mood. We'll ask about migraines and blood pressure and 3 other things. But if you're worried about your mood, it's having that confidence to also ask the doctor, hey, I'm not so sure about this, what do you think? And we'll be more than happy to have that conversation.
Like myself, I don't have any energy and they kind of don't get listened to. And it's like, oh, okay, well...
Jess said it took a while to find a doctor who would listen to her concerns about the pill.
As I got older, I think I developed the maturity to actually advocate for myself and what I needed and, talk about this is the effect the pill is having on me. What can we do about it? How can we fix it? Every doctor should take you seriously, but that's not always the way it is.
It would be nice to know more about it and stuff like that.
As for Georgia, she chose to go off the pill. She says she wishes she was more aware of the risks to begin with and thinks more education and conversations would go a long way.
Yeah, I think the mental side should be talked about a lot more. Younger women, even young boys should know about it.